To use an EC2 Mac instance, start in the AWS console, specifically the EC2 pane, which can be reached after logging in by searching EC2 at the bar at the top. We'll begin by allowing a dedicated host. Click Dedicated Hosts in the sidebar on the left. There's one host here already, let's add another. Click Allocate Dedicated Host and optionally give this host a name tag. From the Instance Family dropdown, choose your desired instance type, in this case Mac 2 for the Apple Silicon Mac Mini. Further down, click the drop-down for instance type and select the only option available, Mac2.metal. Choose your desired availability zone, and I personally use auto placement, so I don't need to specify which host gets an instance in the next step when we start it. Click Allocate. If there aren't any hosts available in the AZ selected, this message tells me where there are some. Just switch the AZ to that one, click Allocate again, and now the new host is visible in the list. Next, we'll launch an instance onto it. Click Instances on the left, then Launch Instance. Give the instance a name, and select an AMI for macOS, in this case macOS Ventura. Change the architecture dropdown to the 64-bit Mac ARM to match our Mac 2 host, and you'll see that directly below, the instance type automatically changes to Mac2.metal. Choose an SSH key for remote access and a security group with appropriate access. I'm using my default, which is also set up with only port 22 open for SSH. The only other required setting is under the Advanced Details Disclosure triangle, and it's the dropdown marked Tenancy. This one needs to be set to Dedicated Host. Since auto placement is on, we don't need to specify which host, just that it requires one. With that finished, click Launch Instance to start your Mac instance, and it will be available to connect to within minutes. If we're setting up an instance for last mile, there's two other important settings before we hit that button. The last mile script in user data, and an IAM instance profile, which needs sufficient permissions to read the secrets last mile may need. See our GitHub repo for more info on what that profile should look like. With our instance launched and the last mile script preloaded in user data, an instance can prompt a user to complete enrollment automatically. The user needs only connect to the instance and follow the instructions customized for the specific version of the OS that's detected. Once the profile installation is complete, Last Mile installs a launch daemon called Skyhook, which will stop an instance if it becomes unenrolled at any point to prevent unmanaged activity. This instance is now able to receive profiles, policies, apps, and more from the MDM server.